going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Trailblazer Radio. I'm your host, Mr. Frederick Beatty. I'm the owner and the CEO of Trailblazer Radio, and you are now tuned into the Check-In, the show where we check in and we talk about all issues pertaining to mental health. And we got a great one for you tonight. But before we even jump into all of that, man, I thank you guys so very much for continuing to follow us on all our various social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and also on our website at www.trailblazerradio.net. Um, I also want to thank you guys for listening to us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, um, on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, anywhere where you get your audio podcasts. I want to thank you guys for doing that as well, man. Um, excuse me. We most definitely appreciate you guys for your listenership and your viewership, and we are so appreciative of that, man. I want to just continue to just emphasize that I want you guys to follow it, to like and to subscribe to our YouTube channel, man. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, man. Please do me a big solid, man. Continue to hit that subscribe button, man. Subscribing does help out the channel, help out our channel so very much. Also, once you subscribe, just watch the content that you resonate with. So whether it's critical conversations or Girl Talk Tuesdays with LHD, or whether it's my Life Has Destiny podcast with Coco, or whether it's this particular show right here, or whether or any other appearances that I or we make, we most definitely thank you guys. So we thank you guys for that. Also, I do want to emphasize that, man, our fundraising campaign to help out our sister Coco Fenton is still ongoing. You do have a chance to still contribute to that fundraiser. Um, I'll make sure that the GoFundMe page is put up so you guys can go ahead and do this, so you guys can contribute if you want to, and even if you don't contribute, man, contribute monetarily. Yep, there it is. Thank you, LSG. I most definitely appreciate you on that. I'm gonna put it up right now. If you guys can see, the GoFundMe page is right there. Please support us. Please help and support our sister, man. The GoFundMe page is right there, man. Even if you can't support monetarily, guys, just being supportive and saying that we're praying for you, Coco, means just as much has just as much meaning as um, the monetary support. And matter of fact, the the prayers and the prayers of support go further than the monetary support. So want you guys to keep doing that for us, man. But now that all that's out the way, and all the pleasantries and announcements are out the way. We're gonna jump back. We are going to jump back into we're into part three of our series of postpartum depression. If you guys tuned in for the first for parts one and two, we talked about what postpartum depression, postpartum depression is. Part two, we talked about how it affects the mom. We talked a lot about how it affects the mom physically. We also talked about how it affects the mom emotionally and mentally. Now we're going to talk about how it affects the father. And the part of this young lady that's been with me throughout this whole ride, and I most definitely appreciate her for being here with us, with this whole ride, is Miss Joy Kitanga-Dabo. And joining us a little bit later in the program is going to be her husband, and we're gonna dive deep into this and talk a little bit about how it affects the father. Because believe it or not, guys, PPD can affect the father. Um, and, I- and, and with that being said, I'm going to let Joy just go ahead and jump in and just kind of tell us a little bit of how it could, you know, how it affects the father, but also and I also ask a couple of questions later. But Joy, welcome back to the show. I appreciate you being here again for part three.
Awesome. It's good to be here. If I can get just few minutes, 1 minute, less than a minute to tell our viewer right now that Miss Latanya's show. Let me tell y'all, y'all missing out because that testimony blessed me. Oh my goodness. I went on the show. I was watching the show. Oh my goodness. That testimony I was watching, I can't remember if she's there, if she's watching to put the name of there. That's also for the GoFundMe connect there. I've already shared it with some of my friends to support because it blessed me, that testimony. I just wanted to take a few minutes to tell our viewer that you want to be on that show, watch Miss Latanya and the ladies, the critical conversation. It is a critical conversation. I was blessed by the testimony and I could not get off. I was just like, oh my gosh. I was connected. I was good. Like, God is so good. God is so wonderful. So I share with the link with my ladies that we definitely need to support her for those who are there, able to support prayer or even with money. It's a really, really it's a really good show. I enjoyed it. Just wanted to give her a shout out at this hour here. But going to the question, it is good to be here as we
You
have
heard that?
continued.
You heard that, sis. You heard that, LSG. Yeah, you got a kudo. You got a big old kudos over here. You know, I can't thank her enough for she she's a very integral part of this platform.
Mhm.
Her contributions, as well as the contributions of Quint and LA and LSG, are like they're phenomenal. I can't quite if there I can't and there's no words that I can use to quantify that. So
It was good. It was a good show. I enjoyed the critical conversation. I got hooked. I actually have Trailblazer ring, so whenever they come on, I'm on it. I'm on it. So
oh man, I
join
appreciate
me for those that are watching. Join me and just come and listen to these ladies' testimonies and stories. Beautiful, beautiful. And as we are here talking again, this is the support for women who may be experiencing PPD, which is postpartum depression, or going through the anxiety of after giving birth. So thank you again, Mr. Frederick, for having me here. It's good to be here, and I especially want to thank you for having us to talk about this conversation that can be easily slipped under the rug and left over because we are to believe that women are these strong character and that everything that they do, you got to suck it up and be this strong macho woman who take care of all everybody by herself. So thank you so much for giving us a voice and allowing and giving us a space to share about the journey. So
oh
with that, we're gonna talk about how it affects. I can't wait for my hobby to come on. He will join us later. He's helping while we start this, get the kids in bed, and then he will join us later. But he will come and share as well his experience because I know it was a very tough. It was a very tough journey for us, and not knowing what it was at first, and because, again, we talk about self awareness, the practice of self awareness, for me to be able to even voice it out and say, honey, I think I'm hitting depression. And him going like, no, don't say that, you're strong, you're gonna be okay, let's just get through this. And I was like, no, 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 this one here, I don't know what it is, but it's coming. It came like a hurricane, like a tornado, and it spin. I remember it spin all of us around. At the time when I experienced postpartum depression, I already had my daughter, and it came on my second pregnancy. My first pregnancy, I enjoyed it. I was great. I wanted to have 10 more kids. I was excited. But
hey,
but when he hit, I was like, I don't think I was at that place where I began to ask, is this my child, or could it possibly that they switch my baby in the hospital, right? And
Oh man.
I had to surrender. I literally had to surrender and not fight it, and not fight it. And it was him who took on the role of being the mom to take care of both of our kids, and to take care as well as support me as I'm going through this transition and the unknown. So I can't wait for him to share his testimony, his side of the story. And already he's as a man with a great story that I'm just amazed when I met him. His story is phenomenal. So adding this to the story is just making him even making me falling in love even more with him.
Wow.
Because of just the ability to withstand the storm that we had to go through. Just kick up a couple statistics that I would like to share with our audience is that it is the study. This is from if you go over on depression. .com or depression postpartum depression.com or postpartum depression.org, and you look at out some statistic. You go, or you just Google statistic of postpartum depression, and there that's where I found the statistic where it says that about 50% of men, okay, 50% of men who are partner to those who are diagnosed with it are more likely to have it as well. So
Wow.
that's a big number right there, right? But and then it says this: approximately 10% of new fathers experience the symptoms of depression. So
Wow.
the 50% of men or partners, they either during the postpartum or later on, they do experience it. It's just that I believe we don't, they're probably a higher number, but we don't have the affecting because these are the diagnosed. What about the condition like mine that was undiagnosed? And I had to figure out what to do and understand what is this. So the number could be as much as we said last time that 80% of women who experience postpartum depression, they get recover. Only 20% may not recover or go into the worst condition. So what I think it may be parallel, and I think it's safe to say that it may be parallel for the partner or the men to experience the same thing. If 80% of women recover, I can conclude, I say that 80% of those men as well, they do recover. And also we can say 20% we may not know, because what about the 20% of women who goes to the worst condition? What happened to the men? Is that they may have a withdrawal. I have seen some of the women that I know who the husband find themselves going sleeping back if they were alcoholic, slipping back to alcohol. I have cases where I have worked with some women who have slip into old behaviors, the anger, and not knowing that it is the signs of postpartum depression. But it's a very critical. I wanted to share those numbers, the statistic about the conversation today, that about 50% of men do experience it during the time that the woman is going through it as well, and also 10% of them experience the symptoms. So that's the statistic that we are playing with today, she say.
50% is a big 50% is a big number. 50% is a large number of men who experience PPD um, with their partners. That's a large number. That's a very big number. Hey Simone, how are you? Are you? And you mentioned that's staggering, almost. 50% of men who are partners of women who have experienced also experience it as well.
Mhm.
Now, is this experience different for a man or for a man than it is for a woman? Is it what are the symptoms the same, or is it are things different?
Well, you the symptoms of depression, they, throughout throughout time or our conversation, even outside of postpartum, depression is depression. So the men, what they're experiencing is the symptoms of depression, which is you feel the what, the anxiety, the fear, the you can call the traumatic, the isolation part, the withdrawing, all the same symptoms that a person that any other person is experiencing depression. So those are the symptoms that the husband or the man will be experiencing.
That number is still staggering to me. fifty
Mhm.
percent. Just like now, I guess since we're talking about that, how it affects the male is are these symptoms more are they more pronounced emotionally and mentally, or are they more pronounced physically as well, or does it vary from person to person?
I believe it varies from person to person, and again, it goes with the men. What we're seeing is what we can talk about is the effect that it is associated with simply calling it depression. So those times, so from person to person may varies. For some people, if the men, for example, have experienced depression in the past, so it's more likely to trigger it again, because again, what's causing in the male side this postpartum depression, if we can call it that way, is the triggering, right? It's the trigger that's causing the, remember, we're not talking about hormone. The cause in the woman, again, the PPD, it is hormonal dropping, and that's causing the trigger of what, if she had depression before or not, or any of those mental illness complication before. But for the man, it's going to go into the space of if he had depression previously, because the woman is going through this, it's going to trigger, it becomes a trigger of what he has experienced in the past. And that will begin to bring old memories back of isolation, old memories of trying to defend and go over with things, uh, with uh, with smoking, to alleviate the pressure, because he's dealing more with the pressure, and he's dealing more with the triggering of the depression symptoms that he's experiencing more. So that's why, some men will say, hey, I just want to go for a walk, or they will go hang out, and not realizing that you are isolating yourself from the environment is because you are experiencing these symptoms of depression. It's not just isolating, because I want to go hang out with the boys, or it's not just isolating because, it's actually you are going through the symptoms of depression and not just pointing a finger at. And for some couples, it can go to the physical, where you either one of them become verbally abusive and not knowing that it
Mm.
is the symptoms of it.
Now, could you safely say that possibly translate to that in over time? Could it translate to
I cut that one cut off a little bit. I'm not sure on this.
could it Oh, I'll repeat it. Could you say, would you now? I won't say would you be safe to say that, but do you think that it could translate to that?
So I hear, do I think it can translate it to what are we translating it to? It kind of, yeah. Could it translate to
Verbal
physical
or
abuse?
physical abuse? Do you
I
think?
believe yes.
Yeah. Do you think
Yes,
that
I believe.
those emotions? Okay. Okay.
Yes, I believe that the emotional, the depression symptoms that associate with the postpartum, because the tension, right? Remember we talk about the red lights that we, I think it was in our first episode when we talk or share about the red light, that you gotta know these symptoms and self awareness, because you coming at the red light, that you see the orange light that is slowly changing and slowly, and you're like, oh no, I can cross this orange light, not knowing that there is the other one, the light have changed on the other side, and you are colliding. And that can be the phenomena that can happen here, because you are thinking that, oh, I can make it through this orange light that is changing into the red light. What you're not hearing is that your partner could have already a green light. That means he's already been triggered. That's a green light. It's already been triggered, and it's he, if he's not aware, so you're gonna say something thinking that, well, I'm protecting, let's put the child first, I'm protecting the child, you should do this, you could have done this. And he's like in his mind not realizing that the depression has already kicked in because of the tension and the pressure in the house. If for example, this I'll say this individual, this man, had experience of anger management, then that's where it turns physical, because again, it is triggering some things. And if not managed, or if not aware of it, yes, it can slip into the physical abuse, because first thing, it turns always turns into what? Verbal abusive. One another, you just think, oh, why can't you do this, why can't you see this? And then, oh my gosh, I'm sick and tired. The tension that is building in the household, that turns from verbal. One day somebody lose control in the arm, and it flips. The same thing with the mother. With the mother, when you're not aware of these symptoms, the anxiety, the tension that bring, that's what some of the mothers, when they have a little one, they becomes more abusive to the other ones. If any middle child know, like, oh my gosh, I was bitten so much when my younger brother was there, or my younger sister, it could possibly be that. It is not that the disciplinary action, but no, but the abuse that comes of not being aware of it. So yes, it can, slip into physical abuse.
Whew. That's a very dangerous threshold to cross.
Mm-hmm.
Because when
It'll
you
be
crack,
it'll
because
be
now it's you now you because now you graduated from the emotional abuse. Now it kind of escalates to the physical abuse, and you're already at a threat. You're already at a crazy threshold with the emotional and the mental abuse. Then it kind of graduates to that. Now it's at like a very dangerous threshold to where that could end up being fatal.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Crazy. And I do see your husband in the studio, so I actually gonna bring him up if he's ready.
Well,
He
before we
smiling
do
like
that, before we go there, I really want to encourage our audience who may see this as something that is happening. Is That's why we really want to encourage you to, when you see the signs of the symptoms, the first level, we talk about this in our second episode, go get the help, that clinical OB support, that doctor support. Get into it, because it is worth taking the help of the healthcare, and as well the support, counseling. You know, we have this stereotype and stigma against this counseling. It's nothing wrong. It's actually helping you as a couple. It's helping you as a mother. I share with it in the first episode. I say the moment I felt the signs and I knew it, I told my husband, I say, I want to get a counselor. I want to get a counselor, and I want to get a Christian counselor because I know my values, and I want somebody who's going to help me understand based on the values that I have and know as a woman of God, as a Christian, as a religion, whatever you want to say. You go get help and not doing it because you don't want to go, as you were mentioning, the car. You don't want the pipe to be breaking down and now you don't have water on the highway. You know, it's if 80% can be okay, then take the chance to be the 80% and not the 20%.
Man, you spoke a mouthful with that. And I think when it comes with the stigma of mental health, when it comes to us as black people or people of color, period, we look at mental health as like it's this horrible thing. Like I don't want to go to therapy, and they gonna think less of me or something like that. Or better yet, I might or they think go to therapy as a sign of weakness. And honestly speaking, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's a sign of strength because you're realizing that you have an issue, that you have a problem. I won't even say a problem. I won't say a problem because saying that if I say a problem, then it kind of it it makes it sound bigger than what it's supposed to be. There's an issue there. There's I would say a disconnect to put you in a you I can't express the earlier, and hey, I agree with you 100%. And I see Mr. M. Dabo is in the building, so if you're ready, brother, let's. You ready? And I'm gonna let you have the floor, sir. I'm gonna let you talk about, your experience with your wife, um, when she was going through her postpartum depression, and how you handled that, and what you talked about. Brother.
Well, good evening. I believe you can hear me.
Yes,
It is.
welcome.
It
Mr.
is so.
Dabo. How
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing great. It's so great to be here with you. I am honored to be connected and to just join my beautiful wife Joy in sharing with your audience. I'm so glad to be here and grateful for the opportunity.
oh, you honor me with your presence, sir. You really do. So I'm gonna give you the opportunity to kind of,
I think the
with
line was.
Joy when when she told you that she felt this onset coming. So you got the floor, brother.
All right. Thank you. Yes. This was this. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yes. I think I can hear you. Yeah. Yeah, this was a new experience
Yes,
for me
yes.
as a as a new dad, and we had a beautiful baby. And Joy was expressing to me the signs that she was experiencing. It was new for me. It was new for me. I had to think through what that meant. And the first response that I had deep inside of me was, how can I support my wife? And how can I be the good, loving husband? And how can I be the good, loving dad to our newborn baby? And I was willing to do whatever it takes to support her in her journey to full recovery. And I just walked the journey with her. We just walked the journey together. gave her the support that she needed. She wanted to see a counselor. That was new for me. I was very open to that because I believed whatever I took for her to recover was very instrumental for our family, was very instrumental for myself too, because whatever she's experiencing has an impact on me too, and it has an impact on our family. So I think it's very important that as a couple, when these types of things come up, it's very important to give your 100% support in a positive way to help with the recovery. Because what that does in turn is that it also helps you, the person. In my situation, it also helped me. Every day that I saw that Joy was on the journey to recovery, when I go to bed, I sleep, I feel peace, knowing that it's beautiful on this other side. This is just a temporary situation that we are going to get through, and we are going to work together as a team to get through it. And that's how we walk that journey.
Oh, I love that. That's lovely. Now, I think in all journeys, we make adjustments, and those adjustments help us kind of navigate whatever waters we're going through. What adjustments did you make when it came to recognizing what Joy went through, but also kind of altering your own behavior, or altering your own approach?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't.
Oh, sure. What type of adjustments did you make when it came to helping Joy transition from one state to another, and what type of effect did those adjustments have on you?
Oh, yeah, thank you. So, after our first child, Gloria, was born, as Joy was going through the recovery, I made a big adjustment. I made an adjustment that I never saw coming. I never expected that. And what happened was that at my job, full time job where I work on a daily basis, the, the, we have this program for staff. That's one of the things that I talked about. It's a program where parents can bring their newborn babies to the office up to 6 months. Now, at my job, there wasn't a man who has done that before. I thought about that, right? I thought about that. What would it, what would that experience feel like? Okay. And Joy was very willing to take care of the kid, and she's a strong person. Joy is a very strong person. No matter the challenges that she's going through, she would make sure that everyone around her is okay. So I wasn't worried about that. I wasn't worried about she taking care of the kid. I was not worried about she doing the best to make our family okay. But I also thought that she is going through this. Let me see what it feels like to take my baby girl to work just one day. Let me sign up for the program. And I remember as I was signing the document with HR, where it was just so new. It was like a man bringing his daughter, newborn baby, to work. And I did it the first day. Now Joy kept checking on me. How are you doing? And I said, it's going great. It's going great, right? The baby was awesome. Long story short, one day turned into 2 days, 2 days turned into 3 days, and it turned into a week, and it turned into 6 months. Now, what that meant for me was that not only did Joy believe that she was going to come out to full recovery, it also helped me believe that I can do anything that I set my mind to do. And also, just knowing that I was willing to go that extra mile because I wanted to, one, take advantage of the opportunity at work, and then two, I just felt that it would be good for Joy to have time to herself, just some quiet time. But what that did, that decision, I believe that God said, okay, so you passed the test in wanting to take this baby girl to work with you. I am going to make sure that she is going to be the best baby girl in the office and not give you hard time at all. And that's what my girl Gloria did in that 6 months. I would take her to leadership meetings, I would take her to just different meetings, wherever, conference calls, and she was very, very quiet. Now, I needed to know that I needed to study and understand or analyze her behavior. I knew exactly what time she was going to wake up. So I need to get her food ready, all right. And so once her food was ready, she was good. But that was a big shift for me. Like, what adjustment did I have to make? That was an adjustment that was big, that I cherished. I enjoyed it, but it helped my family, right? I have pictures of Gloria on my laptop trying to set up my Zoom meeting or my conference call at a time where sometimes
Man.
colleagues, partners that I was working with will be so, they got so used to her, and everybody missed her when she left. And then also in the home, I needed to be there to make sure that whatever support Joy wanted, I was there for her. I think it was a matter of being responsive and understanding. And even if there are situations that seemed uneasy, which was very rare at all, but I had to understand where she was coming from. And I think that despite the challenge that Joy was going through, she's still a joy in whatever situation. And so we could feel that positive vibes in the home all the time.
Wow. That was a huge adjustment, bro. That was like the biggest adjustment ever.
It was. Yes, it really was. To just see.
To bring time from home to work and to do that for 6 months. That's that's huge. That's huge.
Yes, it was. I tell you, one thing that I did was that after 6 months, just taking the things out of the office, just the stuff that I had for her in the office to keep her engaged. There's one thing that I left in the office, and it was just a precious memory. Every time I went to work, it reminded me of my baby girl Gloria, and that was her pacifier. It was a blue pacifier. I had it on my desk. Every morning when I go into the office, I see it. That's the first one of the first things that I see, and it just reminds me of the journey that we have come through, and that what's possible when couples work together, right? Work together to support one another. And I think that's very instrumental to anyone in any situation. Work together, anticipate the best outcomes, do what you can do about the situation, and then pray and leave the rest to God to handle what you cannot handle.
See, Frederick, I told you I was excited and blessed with this man, right?
Man.
Didn't I say that
My
earlier?
hats go off to you, brother. My hat. Oh, you
Thank you,
did.
sir.
You did. You know what? My hats go off to you.
And
Thank
I'll tell you, Jeff, that
You,
Mr.
brother, for real,
Frederick.
because I don't even think I would have had the presence of mind to do that.
How did I?
Not with my son, not with my sons, not with my daughters. I would have never had the presence of mind to do that. The,
And that's the part that where we talk about the support, being able to express, you as a woman be able to express at the beginning, when we had our second child, and he was able to drop me off at the counseling and take care of the two kids at the same time while they go off, I don't know, walk, or go to the mall, while in the area where I was seated. And I remember the counselor's like, "Are you sure you trust your husband? You okay with your husband, with the kids and everything?" I said, "Oh yes, I am. The fact that I am here and I have a peace of mind." And I think that was also a helpful thing to healing, is because I had a peace of mind. I had a peace of mind. I was not panicking. Oh my gosh, I wonder what Abraham is going to do with the son. I wonder what he's going to do with her. What is it going to happen? Right? The fact that I was not panicking, it helped the recover, because again, the we talk about the symptoms is anxiety, right? The anxiety. Mother is going through the anxiety. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen to my kid? How is he going to take care? Trust your partner that they also have the ability to what? To take care of the kid. They have the ability, and you need that support to be in a place, in a counselor room, where you are at peace and talk whatever it is that is going on in your body, and it is speed up the recover, and it did speed up the recover for me. That's why today, and it's because of him as well. I did not want to do this. I was like, I don't think I want to talk about, again, the stigma of postpartum depression. I don't want. But he's like, but Joy, there's so many other women who are maybe going through it and do not know how to recover, but you recover so quickly. You recover. You are able to tap and find out that this is what's happening to you. You knew that the help you needed, and you went for it, and you came out of it so quickly. So please go and start, advocating for this, because they need you. So that's the support that I have.
And Joy, I want to add one thing really quick here, because I think this is very important too in this journey for anyone else who is listening out there. Is that in times like this, even though it's a baby, right? You have a baby, you think maybe it's just a little baby, they don't know what's going around. These babies, they sense what's going on around. They can sense peace in the atmosphere, they can sense tension. And the last thing you want those kids to experience is stress and tension, because they're observing what mommy and daddy, that mommy and daddy is not happy, or 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 just the tension. Maybe mommy is changing the baby or daddy is changing the baby, and they can see the face, they don't see the smile. Babies, you smile to babies, they smile back, right? They just, God has blessed us with babies in such a unique way that they can sense the atmosphere. And it's very important as a couple to walk through these challenges and do the best that you can to ensure that there's peace in the home. Not only does it help you, not only does it help your partner, it helps the kid, and it makes the home a special home. It makes the home a peaceful home, and it makes the home, God's presence can be felt in the home as well. And that in turn helps with the recovery and the journey to where you want to be.
You said a mouthful there, sir. And I am completely 100% with you on that. You know, I'm still amazed at the price that you made to make sure that Joy was okay and taken care of. And again, your that journey for you started from, you know what, I had to give it to you, man. I have to. I gotta give you that credit. Credit where credit is due. Nah, I wouldn't have been able to do that. No. I wouldn't have been able to do that, brother. No. I'd have been like,
Well, you know, I I have to share this as well, because for anyone listening, it's not something that I just got up and I said, yes, I could do this. It has to do with, for me, it had to do with the mindset. I said to myself, is this what I want to do? Or do I want to try it? And the answer was yes. Do am I experiencing the fear of doing this? The answer was yes. I was very nervous about it. Within internally, I did not express that to Joy, by the way. I was very nervous about that. I was, so many things were going through my mind. What will somebody else think about me? And just all the noise that goes through the mind. But I had to make a deliberate, determined decision that I had to get my mindset there that once I say yes and I'm ready, it's no going back, because I believe that I have what it takes to get to do this successfully. And so for anyone else out there, just evaluate what works best for you. If you want to do something for to help your partner, what worked for me might not work for you. Maybe for you it's just a matter of listening to inspirational music or inspirational speakers to help inspire you to take on that journey. Maybe it could be just talking to very quality network of friends that you have, maybe the friends from your church or elsewhere, but these are people that are trustworthy, that you can share a challenge like that, and they're not going to look at you and judge you, but they're going to speak life into you and into your situation and inspire you and motivate you through that journey. So there are just so many different ways to go about this in any aspect of life, right? But here we're talking about supporting the spouse. That's one of the things to consider. Evaluate what works best for you, what will motivate and inspire you to do exactly what you need to do for the best of your family.
That's a, that's what it was. Cool to you. I'm gonna give you your flowers right now. You gonna get your flowers right now
Thank you.
because
Thank you. I see that comment right there. Thank you.
like I said, I mean it's the funny thing about it is I'm gonna say like it's the little things that we do that make the biggest of
Yes.
impacts. But the impact is like this big. And what you did, for her to make sure that she was all right, she was taken care of, but also was a piece, maintain peace in your home.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to you, kudos to you, kudos to you, Abraham. Kudos to you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I tip my hat off. I don't think that a lot of people would really understand the impact of that. The Joy knows the impact of that, and that's something that is felt through just you guys' just you guys' banter with each other. That is, I see that impact and what that is, how that is, and what that means to a lady to a woman who just had a kid, who just had a baby, could graduate into something else. You saw an opportunity as much as you were, and I'm pretty sure you was really skittish about it. Like, and at the end of the day, your family was better for it. Your family is stronger, is better for it. You guys are stronger for it. Takes a real man to realize that something's going on with his spouse or his partner. It takes the initiative to do everything in his power to make sure that his partner is taken care of. That takes
And
courage.
Thank you.
I would like to add to that, is the idea, if anyone didn't catch it, is that we both look for solution and gravitate toward recovery instead of maintaining the position of I am strong, I can do this, or you are strong, or this is your responsibility. Rather, we both, and this is very critical in seeing it as This is something that is happening to us that can become something that we can work through it. And that, there's that, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. That word, that sentence is that, again, it goes back to what? Initiating the conversation. This is how I am feeling. Advocating for myself. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm going. So it gives him also the space and the room to evaluate. That's the word he used. I have to evaluate how to approach, so that we don't come at the intersection colliding with what I think I can break through this red light, and he's like, oh, my red is light, my light is green, I can go ahead. No, working it together and seeing it as a place where I know what I'm going through and I've already expressed it. And if he's not understanding, then that means that I need to be able to communicate that well and say, this is what I am going through. It's so critical for us, lady, to be able to express, I'm exhausted, I feel tired. Remember, I shared, for me it was the arm. I start feeling tingling in my arm, and I was like, I don't know what is this is. And I start moving, and the next thing I know, I'm like, the doctor is prescribing me physical therapy. But what I did not know, it was the impact of the stress, the emotional stress on the body. And from there, one thing led to another. So being able to express to him and say, hey, this is what I'm going through, it gives him room and opportunity as well to see him as a man of the house, as well as a support that I have. What can I do in on my end of side? If not affected, I remember even asking him, Frederick, I remember asking him, say, okay, I know I went through depression, I don't know what I was going through, but can you tell me, did you go through anything at all? Or did you even experience anything? Or you never said anything? Because he went into this full mode of, I gotta support you, I gotta be there for you. So whatever I can do, whatever I gotta do, I gotta do it. And I'm like, wait. This is after recovery. I was like, wait. Let's take care of you now. You see that the transition changed because you took care of me while I was going through it. But I'm curious. You can't stay in the house with somebody who's going through full depression and not be affected. Again, it goes back to the self-awareness and the self-assessment. I was like, what can be going on through your mind? The shutdown, totally shut down. I'm just gonna go through it. I'm just gonna blow. I gotta take responsibility. And we had to go back and say, okay, let's sit down and talk about how are you, how is it with you. And my husband will tell you, it became a regular thing. I will wake up, I will ask him, how is it with your soul? How is it with your soul? How is it with your soul? Because now let's purge whatever trauma or whatever experience that you had. Let's start talking about it and make sure that you are healed as well.
Wow. For, geez. For me, so many volumes to, you know, and I'm just gonna go out and say this, to and just to be fair, to be you guys experienced something together, but you also got through it together
Mm-hmm.
because both of you because both of you treat each other's well-being. You took the time to invest in each other's not only their well-being, but you also took the time to do everything. That is I won't say that's a rare occurrence, but it's something you don't necessarily see all the time. To look at your loved one and say, "Hey, don't worry about it. I got it."
Mm-hmm.
Or better yet, you take care of you. I'll take care of our children. Care of our children, and then for you, Joy, to come right back around and reciprocate that in kind.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks, God, and I'm getting choked up really just thinking about it. That speaks immense volumes how we how we honor, how we respect our spouses.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll like apologize to you guys for the quality of the stream, but the way that you guys, the way that your husband, you were your right, you were in your right state of mind, and then the way that you turned around and reciprocated that act, man, my mind is blown right now. I'm just,
I can,
I'm getting emotional. And you don't see that. I take that back. You see that in some, you see that in some marriages. You don't see it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking about it right now because that is such a beautiful thing to experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what you go through, what you go through, how you guys, what you guys go through. You guys have each other's back regardless, and that you guys are gonna stand back to back or side. We can end the show right there, and I think that we can end the show right there. That would speak volumes to a lot of people. Man, y'all have to excuse me for a moment because oh my god,
And
that
I can add one last thing. While you're processing that, I can add one last thing to what Joy said, if that's okay.
oh, go ahead, man. You go ahead. You
Okay.
got it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the whole idea about reciprocating what, as you described it there, I think it's very important to know and understand who you are living with, or who is your partner, or who you're working with, because everybody has a different personality and a different style. My wife, for the most part, she's very good at asking questions and pulling something out of me, right? Asking the right questions, things that I might have in the back of my mind that I may not think of sharing, but it's something that's worth sharing. And she just knows the right time to ask those questions to share. Like the example that she mentioned, hey Ibrahim, we've gone through this season together and you've been there supporting me, and I have gone through this challenge. How is it with you? How did you go through it? You've not shared anything. That's something that I would not naturally think about just sharing. For me, it's a matter of we did it together. I did what I needed to do to support, and we move. I'm moving on to the next thing. But then when she knows that naturally these types of situations, I don't just pick it up. And she asked a question, and it got me to pause for a moment. And I said, wow, what a great question that is. And it got me to reflect back on that journey and to share with her. And what a relief it was to finally share what I went through. And we talked through it together, right? And we look together at how God has blessed us, how far we've come along in this journey, the things that we are able to overcome together. And so just sharing it was very important. Also, as part of the bonus for the recovery, because this was after recovery now, right? So, what I'm trying to say is very helpful to understand your partner, because then you get to complement your strengths. You get to complement the different qualities that you all bring
Mm-hmm.
to the table. And that's what enriches, and that's what strengthens, and that's what builds the relationship. It's just so beautiful, right? And that's what happened in that particular scenario right there.
Man, you guys have a beautiful relationship. I can see that. I really do. And your children are will are the benefit will be the benefactor or the benefactors of that. You know, when they as they get older, they're gonna see the beautiful relationship that you guys have, and they're gonna see that, and they're gonna be like, that's what I want. That's what I want for me when I get married. That's what I want in my husband. That's what I want in my wife when I get married, or when I get older, or old enough to be married. They said, and you mentioned it already. Kids feed off our energy. So if they know
Mm-hmm.
something's wrong with us, they're like, I'm gonna stay away from you for a while. If they know something we're happy, they're gonna want to be around us because they know that they're gonna get all the love and all the care and all the joy that we can give them. But man, it's yeah. I'm emotional. One part of from one part of the equation, and he's part of it. From depression, from feeling depression to healing. I would say that, you know, but also because you guys are Christ centered,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also the biggest thing that helps you guys in that process. Because you guys have a strong belief in God, and because also you know that Joey, he's also going to touch him too, and he's going to make sure he's going to let you guys know that everything's going to be okay. Or Christ centered, that God was in the center of it, and again, such a beautiful thing happened when acted on your spouse's behalf,
Mm-hmm.
and it became even more beautiful thing when you, ma'am, ready. I want to be like y'all when I grow up.
You sure can.
You know what? You be strong in another area. No, this was a postpartum depression wave. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes, indeed.
When I say I really type of relationship to where you if you act, you see a need, you act on it. So Joy sees something. Now she comes back and she says, okay, let me reciprocate to him the same energy he gave to me.
Hmm.
That's kind of still right. I can't get my I can it's for me that's something I can really rather that. Gosh, that's so precious. That's precious.
Well,
To be able to have a relationship like that that is like this precious. God.
Well, I want to share this. We've talked a lot in the past few parts about the woman and the role, and when I get to this part here, I want to talk to that woman who's watching and is listening. You're beautiful, you're fearfully and you're wonderfully made. Tap into it. Because with this illness, with this condition, you're more likely to try to want to have control or tap into what society have called you the strong woman, especially for our women of color. The stereotype of you being the strong woman and being the one who have all in control. You can type into the beauty and the strength, or you can relinquish the control and surrender. Surrender to what? Surrender to the power of healing, because you know who you are and what God have created you to be. So if I stay there in the concept and the analogy of I am the strong woman, black woman, this African queen, I can do it, I can lead, I can manage my household, guess what? It goes to the what? You can easily slip into the 20%, and the 20% is those who what, who may not recover or commit suicide. And then remember my story I shared with you earlier in the beginning of first part, is that when the first time I learned about PPD, it was on television, and I heard the story of this man telling about his wife who committed suicide few weeks or a month after she had given birth. And I don't know what she had done to express. I don't know her story of maybe she did, maybe she's not. But what I know is now on this side of the journey is that I want to tell you, you can say, I am tired and still be okay. You can say, I need help and still be okay. It does not make you weaker. It does not change your identity, but it makes you even stronger to be able to receive that help, to be able to surrender to healing, give you more wealth and give you more power, give you more time to recover and enjoy the baby, the life that you have given, instead of you living with the trauma, living with the hate, living with the anger, living with the frustration. So I plead with you as you're watching is relinquish the control and simply surrender to healing. That's the key right there. Surrender to healing. Seek healing and seek the best version of yourself. If it's affirmation, if it's morning routine, if it's telling your support, or even if you don't, if you're a single mom, that's the time where you want to call your female, women, neighborhood doctors and say, hey, can I drop off my child for a few minutes for me to get help? But the bottom line is this: surrender to healing. You're not surrendering to weakness, you're surrendering to healing. And healing will bring you back stronger.
That's it in a nutshell. That is it in a nutshell.
And when you do that, that's the same thing. You supporting your family. That's the same thing. You helping also the your partner to heal. You helping your children to know that we are in this together and we're journeying. That tendency of having control is saying to yourself, I got this, I'm by myself. But if you surrender to healing, you're telling your partner when this together, and you're giving him his gift and his authority to come and be at work, to be activated. And together you make it through. Frederick, I can go on with this one. I can go
I
with
know.
this. We can
I
be
know.
here and
I
I can
know.
be here all night.
Those words are needed right now. Again, we're talking about something that is rarely talked about. Something that's gentlemen. I would need y'all. I would need y'all. Be like my man Ed right here. I'm gonna need y'all to do that because again, what he saw an opportunity, he took out and made sure that his wife was taken care of. Made sure that his kids were taken care of. Made sure that his family was taken care of. I need y'all to listen. I need y'all to come back and listen to this podcast, and I need y'all to listen to the. But I'm listening to it, and I'm thinking of me as a father. What would I have done in that situation? But hey, again, I'm giving my once again flowers, kudos, hats off, kudos, attaboys, all that good, all that stuff, man. Because you stepped up to the plate and you delivered.
Mhm.
There's the man. Again, I want to be like y'all when I grow up because
Thank you.
by
Appreciate
yourselves.
you.
But another thing to do with Christ in it, that makes it all the better, all the
Yes.
better. And
Yes.
I'm gonna give you a chance. Let everybody know who you are, where they can find you on social media, and if you have any events that are coming up, man, I'm gonna give you this opportunity to do that now, brother. You have the floor.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here with you on your platform and to just share with you and to also be joined with my beautiful wife Joy. I am excited. I am going to launch my podcast next week. I am going to launch my podcast. It's going to be about purpose. Thank you. Purpose graciously revealed is the name. And if you're somebody who is struggling to find your purpose, you know what your passion is, but you know that there's something missing, there's something that God has called you to do, and you're wrestling with that, then this podcast is for you. If you are a mom and you've had your child, your last child has just moved out to college and you've been homeschooling your children all these years, and now you're trying to figure out what's next for me. I have been out of the workforce or the workplace for a long time, and you're experiencing anxiety about what the future holds for you, then this podcast is for you. And if you're somebody who is just trying to figure out what your purpose is, this podcast is for you. I am going to share my story, my challenges, my struggles of how I wrestled with God to get a clarity of purpose, and also bring in guests who have experienced challenges in discovering their purpose, but they were able to embrace eventually what God has called them to do in this world. And they are going to share their stories with you as well. So you can find me on social media. My handle is at IBDabo. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you can find. Just put in IB Dabo and you will find me. You will see up this about the podcast. It is going to transform lives about purpose. So again, Mr. BT, thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your platform and to also just get a chance to share this exciting news with your audience.
Oh, my pleasure, brother. And what's the name of your podcast again? Because I most definitely want
Yeah, the podcast is the name of the podcast is Purpose
to promote
Graciously
it. Put it.
Revealed. Yeah, did you catch that?
Ooh, looking forward to that. Looking forward to that.
Thank
Now,
you.
is that going to be on? Now, is that going to be on Clubhouse, or is it going to be on
It's gonna be on all the major podcast channels, and it's also gonna be on. I have a room on Clubhouse for that. It's gonna be Clubhouse is an extension of the podcast because a lot of people, as it's gonna impact a lot of people, and so with Clubhouse being the extension of the podcast, it's also gonna impact people there. And I'm gonna also have it on YouTube as well. So there's so many ways that you can catch this, and I am just so excited to connect with you all in this journey.
brother. And like I've always said in regards to Miss Joy, you guys can find her on her various social media platforms. Godempress.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram. You also catch her on these clubhouse streets and stuff like that. But man, I'm gonna tell y'all now with your beautiful presence, and it
Thank you so much.
it could bring you have given me so much. Anytime you want to come back to this platform, bro, you are most welcome, and you are the
Thank
door is
you.
open.
I appreciate it. Thank you so
And
much.
like first time though, you first time you walked in the door, you're a guest. Now Now you can walk in the house. You don't gotta ask me. You gotta go to the refrigerator. Just go
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
and drag it out the. Now you at home.
Yes,
But
thank
so
you.
that's gonna conclude this episode of the check in, guys. Again, I want to thank my very special guests tonight, Joy and Joy her wonderful husband, M. Dabo, man. God, this was a great conversation. I enjoyed every bit of it, and looking forward to part four of our conversation
How does it affect the family?
Thank you.
of
Absolutely.
this conversation. And so we're going to talk about resources and things of that nature. Goodness gracious, this is going to be a great conversation. And as I stated before, guys, you guys can check us out. Check you can like I said, y'all get ready for this podcast that he has going on. That's going to be upcoming. Purpose graciously revealed. I'm gonna need y'all to check that out. I really need y'all to check him out because I have a recent man. Check out Joy on her website. It's on her website, also on her various social media platforms. Also check us out, Trailblazers Radio, on our various social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Patreon up. However, I have to work on it. Jesus, I don't like doing. I hate working on stuff. But anyway, and also check us out on our website, www.trailblazersradio.com. Audio stream platforms, Amazon Music, uh, iHeartRadio, um, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all 100 likes. Please do me a big favor, like. Please do not 100 likes, 100 subscribers. Jesus, my bad. Please do me a favor. Go to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. That's it. Follow the content that resonates with you. That's it. That's all. That's it. Real simple. I know Joy M got a cast when I end these shows, man. Number one, take care of each other. Number two, be good to each other. Number three, it is a crazy, crazy world out here, y'all. So take care of each other, y'all. Take care of each other. Oh, last but not least, um, I forgot to throw some announcements out here, so I forgot about that. Tune in tomorrow. Make sure you get them questions to them right away. Friday, Friday, Friday. Oh boy, this show is probably going to trigger some people. And excuse me, I am not apologizing. So the subject of that show is going to be incest. So tune in for that. Also, immediately after following every show on WBN. I'm going to put a Facebook post out here shortly so that you guys can be able to tune in there and make sure you guys have the call-in number so you guys can call in and support. Other than that, like I said earlier, you guys have a wonderful evening. You guys have a great night. You guys sleep well and sleep safe. And on that note, we are out of here. See you guys in the next one.